Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. I just want her to see that I can be enough. Throwaway for obvious reasons. Really just needed to vent before or explode. My wife, 26F, cheated on me, 37M, twice now. It was never physical cheating. I'm sure of the first one as he doesn't live in our country, but the second one is a friend of hers. She slept over at his house and vows up and down that nothing physical has happened, but I don't think I trust that. I love her so much. She is the first woman I've ever felt this for. She knows me inside and out, and maybe I stay because I don't and can't build this foundation with anyone else again. Yes, we have quite an age gap. We met when she was 23 and I 33. I never paid much mind to our age gap before, but it's been playing on my mind more and more now. She's way out of my league, I'm really punching, and that's another reason why I feel I've got to accept this. I know that she may be a sociopath. All signs beginning from her childhood and her relationship with her mother point to that. Her psychiatrist diagnosed her as schizoaffective. Her general lack of empathy can be scary at times, and her hobby of taxidermy can be off-putting to most. But I've experienced that. I've been that unloved kid, acting out for attention and love, being rejected by your mother time and time again. She's been through a lot as a child, inclusive of SA from age 6. I have this desire to protect her, to love and care for her. She's the most beautiful thing. Every relationship I've been in, I've been cheated on. I know it's because I've got a smaller than average package down there, but with my wife the first time we were intimate it was different. She seems to love to explore and try new things apart from penetration, because I know deep down she doesn't even feel me there. Maybe my reluctance to leave is my fear of being ridiculed by women like I always am. How do I leave such a beauty who is intelligent too? I don't usually date exceptionally beautiful women because 1. I can't get them, and 2. They want partners who are attractive too. She's also done so much for me. I love this woman with my soul. I know that I can be difficult to deal with and that we need toys in the bedroom in order for her to climax, but I love her. I know she loves me too in her own way. I just wish for once in my life I can be enough. Sometimes I feel like she's evil. She can be so heartless and hurtful. I'm an attorney and she's a medical doctor. We aren't low on cash and we don't need each other financially. She's been my longest relationship and my most serious. My family adore her. I can't turn to them with this because they wouldn't believe me. My friends and colleagues can't believe that someone as ugly as me has married her. We have been talking about children again. We had a miscarriage back in 2020 and I want nothing more than for her to mother my children when she is ready, but things have to change. She has to be 100% committed. I don't want to raise kids in a broken home or wonder whose kids am I raising. I also need to show her more affection. We've been great the past few months and I can feel her taking over my heart again. This may sound corny AF, but I just want to die in her arms when she looks at me. Maybe I'm cursed. She's perfect for me on paper and practically too, but she has a wandering eye and it hurts me so bad. It destroys me. I'll never be enough. Maybe if she knew how much she hurt me, she would stop and focus on our marriage? On our future? I just want her to be faithful, especially emotionally. I know I've got to improve. I just need her to give me that chance. I just want to be the father I never had and I want to fulfill her. Here are some of the best comments from our community. Years ago I worked with a guy named Mike. He was a player who had a different woman come to the business we worked at almost every day, and these women were crazy about him. We all assumed he was packing a monster dong. Somebody at work would always have a party on the weekends, and this particular weekend it was at a hotel with a double room. Me and some friends were hanging out in one of the rooms and started hearing a woman losing her mind, it seems, so we go to the other room and it's Mike with a woman and she was going crazy. When he pulled out, I along with others had to see this dong, and to my shock it was the smallest pecker I've ever seen. We were in shock. The woman sees us and says it's small baby, but he knows how to use it. It does not matter how big you are, it's all about confidence. There are some women who want to be hammered, but the majority want average size man, and most women cannot orgasm from penetration alone. They need foreplay and lots of it. I have known a few guys who claim to be hung and most could not keep a woman, and the one guy with the smallest pecker could not keep them away. Do some research on what satisfies a woman sexually and work on your own self-esteem. Another cheating story. Girlfriend started being cold before going on a trip. Found out later her nudes with a guy friend. How to move forward. Last August my GF went on a trip with her kids to stay with her grandparents at the beach for 5 days. Before that she was starting several arguments with me over seemingly nothing and being very emotionally distant. Communication was sparse and she would often not even communicate at all. That next Wednesday after they had gotten back, she was sitting at her desk working when I came in and saw she was messaging a male coworker. Normally this wouldn't be an issue, but on the screen was a pretty clear picture of her cleavage she had sent this man. After confronting her about it, she hits me with what? Am I not allowed to have friends? Of course she is allowed to have friends, but that was a bit much for just being friends. I wanted to talk about what was going on with her after work, but she had plans to go out with friends from work and didn't have the time. She didn't answer my calls or messages for 3 days, and I didn't see her until I came home FR work that Saturday. After dealing with being treated like garbage for over a year, I decided it was time to leave. I knew she had cheated, but she didn't respect me enough at the time to admit it. The last thing I told her before I left was, "I hope he treats you right." About 4 months later, I got a call from her best friend asking if I would be willing to talk with my ex. Of course I was willing to talk. In the years that I was with her, there never came a time I wasn't willing to. It turns out the guy she cheated with was very abusive, manipulative, and prone to fits of anger and rage. Thankfully, he never laid a hand on her or the kids, but he would go so far as to harm himself as a means of getting her to comply with what he wanted. Definitely not somebody to be comfortable taking the kids around. I tell her if she is willing to call, I would be willing to talk. Our conversations lasted several hours each, and this went on for over a week before we finally met in person for the first time in months. I would be lying if I said I wasn't happy to see her again. Regardless of everything, I still love her. We sat and talked about what happened, and she tells me that she left that Wednesday and couch surfed until eventually ending up at his place that Friday night. That they were watching movies and he leaned over and kissed her, then she freaked out and left. Don't think for a second I believe that. I've been cheated on before, so I knew a bit about how to approach this as the conversation progressed. Finally, I let her vent everything and confess what she was willing to, then I asked her to show me the messages. She gets very defensive and kept coming up with all these reasons why she wouldn't show them to me. I knew she was lying about it, but I gave her all the room to confess the truth to me. I can be forgiving and believe more in fixing things when they are broken rather than giving up, so I gave her a second chance. Fast forward to about 2 weeks ago. I am at a popular second-hand store and sparked up a conversation with the clerk and gave him my name as I was walking out the door. I was approached by a man asking if I was me. I look up and see the guy she had cheated on me with. He tells me how sorry he was and he did not condone cheating, and if he knew about me he wouldn't have let it progress past the nudes she sent him. This was news to me because I took her at her word when she told me that she never sent him anything like that. He tells me that if there is anything I want to know, he will be honest and hide nothing. God knows I had plenty of questions, but rather than let emotions decide, I chose to tell that she and I had already spoken in detail on the matter, but if felt like he needed to share anything with me, I would happy to listen. He tells me that they didn't start talking until she was on her trip. That the conversation was sexual from the start and the nudes were sent without request, and he even showed me the messages to confirm. She did in fact leave our home that Wednesday to go stay with him for 3 days. He knew I was living there, but she had told him that we weren't together and I was staying there until I found another place to live. After finding out she lied to me again, I am conflicted as to how I want to proceed with this. I made the decision to come back and fix things with her, but after knowing how far she is willing to go with this big of a lie has me regretting that decision. Should I confront her about it? Should I leave? Should I just let it go and keep working on fixing what I can and run the risk of it happening again? Here are some of the best comments from our community. I would confront her more with curiosity to see what stories she can invent. I would tell her that she only has one chance to admit the truth. I would let her shake a little and then tell her that I know everything and that it's not worth wasting my time with her anymore. That's what I would do. Now, to be honest, I don't know if it's worth it. You can simply say that you found out everything and that you can prove that she still lied and put a stop here. It all depends on what you want. She's for the streets. Fuck that bitch. Don't let love blind you from being taken advantage of. She obviously didn't care enough about you to even tell you the truth. So don't get tired of with her to the point where she'll tie you down with a kid or something. She belongs for the streets. Take your seat, king, and don't let a fool make you into thinking she's queen material when she's nothing but fuck material. Don't confront her about anything, just let it be known you want to cut her off for good. You can still live her, but at a distance. You guys broke up and you had an idea she was cheating. Cheaters lie. You can ask her again if you need to, but you will never get the total truth from her. If I were you, I would just forget her and move on. Well, if I were you, I'd look at it like that. You already know what you need to know. She cheated, she lied, she doesn't respect you. You only live once. You're not gaining time back. Every minute you spend on this trash is wasted. And when you have processed this, then read the 3 last sentences of your post loud in front of a mirror, and answer your own questions. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.